We see headlines about lawsuits and monopolies, but not the mechanics behind them. EconWorks looks past the talking points to find where law, economics, and markets collide. Let's get into it.
Hey, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the world's biggest digital store, Amazon. We're going to get into the hidden machinery that decides what you see, what you click on, and ultimately what you end up buying. So let me ask you something right off the bat. When you're on Amazon, scrolling through pages, and you finally hit that Add to Cart button, who really made that decision? Was it you? Or was the platform itself kind of nudging you in a direction you didn't even notice?
All right, let's dive right in. To really get what Amazon is, you have to realize it's not just some passive website with digital shelves. Nope, it's an environment that is actively, and I mean actively, managed.
Just think about it for a second. When you walk into a regular brick-and-mortar store, you can just wander down the aisle and see all the different brands of, coffee, right? They're all just sitting there. But on a digital marketplace like Amazon, it's a whole different ballgame. The platform itself is the one deciding which coffee brands you see first, which ones get pushed to the bottom, and which ones you might never lay eyes on at all. And this is how they do it. Amazon has these 3 key levers of power. First, it controls which sellers even show up when you search for something. Second, it decides how prominently they're displayed. Are they front and center, or are they buried on page 6? And third, and this one's the big one, it decides who wins the most valuable piece of real estate on the entire site, the buy box. So let's talk about that buy box, because honestly, it is everything. It's the critical point where just browsing turns into an actual sale. So what is the buy box exactly? You know it. It's that little box on the right of the product page with the Add to Cart or Buy Now button. It seems so simple, but for a seller, winning that spot is the ultimate prize. Why? Because the overwhelming majority of sales on Amazon, we're talking over 80% in some estimates, go through that one single button. If your product isn't the one in that box, you're pretty much invisible. And what's so fascinating is how direct this path to profit really is. It's a simple chain reaction, right? Get a high rank in the search results, and that dramatically increases your odds of winning the buy box. And winning the buy box is what captures all that customer demand and turns it into sales. It's a straight line from the platform's algorithm straight to a seller's bank account. But here's where it gets really interesting. This isn't just a one-and-done kind of thing. Success on Amazon actually creates this really powerful feedback loop. It's a cycle where the winners just keep on winning. And this is the key takeaway here. A seller's track record isn't just a report card of how they did in the past. It's a critical ingredient that the algorithm uses to decide their future. The more you sell, the more the platform says, hey, this is a winner, and the more it shows your stuff to new customers. You can see that cycle right here in this diagram. It's perfect. A high ranking drives demand, that demand leads to more sales, and then those sales figures get fed right back into the system as a huge positive signal, which, you guessed it, improves that seller's ranking for the next time around. It's this powerful, self-reinforcing loop. So how does this actually play out? Well, first you get higher sales. That naturally leads to more customer reviews, which is a huge factor for the algorithm. It also helps a seller build up great fulfillment metrics, a solid history of shipping things quickly and reliably. All of this data screams to the algorithm, this is a great seller, which makes them a shoo-in for even better, more prominent placement in the future. Okay, so if the established players are riding this wave of success, what does that mean for somebody new, for someone just trying to break into the market? Well, they run smack into what you might call the new seller's dilemma. I mean, just look at this comparison. It's night and day, right? The established seller starts with high visibility, a mountain of reviews, a proven track record. The new seller, they're starting from scratch. They have low visibility, maybe 0 reviews, and absolutely no sales history. The system itself puts them at a massive disadvantage from the get-go. And this is the trap. A new company gets stuck at the bottom. Because their visibility is so low, they barely make any sales. And without those crucial first sales, they can't get the reviews or the performance history they need to convince the algorithm to rank them higher. They're stuck in a vicious cycle, the exact opposite of that success loop. And it all adds up to this, a huge barrier to entry. Without that initial algorithmic boost, they struggle to get sales. That means no reviews, no fulfillment history to prove they're reliable. And that all-important buy box? For a new seller, it might as well be on another planet. It feels completely out of reach. So when you zoom out and look at the big picture, this whole structure raises some really big, fundamental questions. Questions about what competition even means in the 21st century? This is really the heart of the matter. And this is exactly why this is such a major flashpoint in antitrust discussions today. The key point is that in this kind of marketplace, competition isn't just about who has the best product or the lowest price anymore. It's also, and maybe even more so, about who is best at pleasing the platform's ranking algorithm.
Which brings us to this core question, pulled right from the source material. It's a question that regulators all over the world are wrestling with right now. Should a company that runs the marketplace also get to decide how sales and customers are divided up among all the competing sellers on that marketplace?
And so, we'll leave you with this final thought to chew on. When you have a system that is literally designed to reward past success over and over again, what does that do for future innovation? How can a disruptive new product or a small business with a truly great idea ever hope to break through? The answer to that question doesn't just affect the sellers. It ends up shaping the choices that are available to every single one of us.
Thanks for watching. For the deep dive economic analysis behind these stories, join us at econworks.com. Subscribe to stay informed on where law and economics meet the market. We'll see you in the next episode.